Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Kind of a rainy, dreary day around here today. Supposed to be a pretty good storm. We're not real hard rain, just long-lasting drizzle. We're supposed to get 1.5 inches or so out of this, I think. We're going to get back to work on this knife today. I cleaned it up a little bit after I tempered it. If you remember in the first video on this knife, we got it all forged out of a piece of leaf spring, and we got it drilled and rough ground, and then we heat treated it. And now we're going to go ahead and I just kind of cleaned off the forged scale and what have you from the heat treating. I started sanding on this a little bit the other night. It's looking pretty good. I want to clean these flats up kind of decent so we can put some kind of an etching design in there, make it kind of nice. So yeah, I think this come out pretty nice. I really like the shape of this knife. Doesn't mean I'm going to steer away from my basically my signature clip points that I like to do, but I just kind of thought this would we'd just get away from the clip point for this one knife. So we made, if you saw the video I posted the other night, I made some red micarta. We're going to use red micarta for the scale liners on this one, and I believe we're going to use that same brown wood that my neighbor gave me. I think I've got just enough of it left to put on these handles. He gave me the wood, so I thought it would only be fitting that we use some of that wood that he gave me on this. So we're going to be doing some sanding today and hopefully get this thing etched. And I'd really like to get back to get all the way to our scales mounted and at least shaped up a little bit. We won't get all the way through to putting poly on it. That's a lot. There's a lot of hand sanding on that wood that's involved with that. So, but we're going to try to get this thing etched. We're going to try to get it finished sanded on these flats and get it etched. And then we'll sand it again after the etch and get it cleaned up. And then we're going to get us some scales cut and cut our scale liners and try to get those epoxied on and pinned. And use 5-minute epoxy, so it only takes a couple of hours, and then I can go ahead and you know, cut the excess pins off and be shaping the wood up and what have you. So hopefully we can get at least that far today. So video number 2 on the neighbor's knife. Let's get to work. All right, we'll we'll get our knife clamped down here on the edge of our table. It would appear that the clamp is in the way right there. So think that's probably a little bit better. You notice when I clamp this onto a board, I make sure that the tip of the knife is still over the board rather than hanging off, because if you're sanding and you slip off of there and come like this, you could stab the tip of that knife into your thumb or something, you know. So after a lot of sanding and polishing, we got our blade cleaned up pretty well. Now we're going to etch the blade. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. So we've got some fingernail polish, some acetone, a little bit of alcohol, paper towel to wipe things off with, and I'm just using a soda bottle cap because it takes very little of this fingernail polish, and I've got this fine little brush here. It doesn't seem to clean up very well even with the acetone after I've used it, but once we get some acetone on it and that again, it'll seem to limber up a little bit. And that limbered it back up pretty good. So, gotta shake up this polish. And we're just going to pour a little of that right in our little cap there. Now we're going to get a little alcohol. It doesn't take very much. We just want to dip our brush right into the alcohol and just get out a few drops. That fingernail polish is pretty thick, the way it comes out of the bottle. And a little bit of alcohol will thicken it up. Now what I've done is I've already done this other side, and you can see what kind of a pattern we've got going on there. I want to try to mirror that on the other side as closely as I can. Well, okay, I think we got them close enough. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but close enough for government work, I think. I will let this dry for a little bit, and we'll go put it in the etch. Alright, so we got our blade here, done on both sides. I don't know how that's showing up, but we got both sides painted up, and we're just going to take this little screwdriver here, shove it through there. We don't need this to go any deeper than that. And there we go. We'll see what time it is. We'll be back in 45 minutes to check it out. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes. That looks like it etched up pretty nicely. I didn't stir this etchant. I should have probably stirred it a little. Let me spray a little. Let's just move you. Here we've got spray a little Windex on this. Yeah, etched up good. Sure turns that steel black, doesn't it? Now, got to take this upstairs. And we'll get our acetone and we'll get that nail polish off of there. And then that'll be nice and bright and shiny. We'll sand this out, pretty it up. We're just about ready to put scales on this thing. Alright, we got our knife just fresh out of the etch. And let's go ahead and we'll get this nail polish off of here to reveal our nice, pretty bright, shiny little bit of etch work here. It'll look pretty good when we get it sanded up, don't you think? I think so. guys, so after a whole bunch more sanding and cleaning after we etched it, we got the blade all etched up nice there. Well, I don't know if it's nice, but it's done. Then we've got these big blocky scales on here, and we're going to go ahead and trim them up right now and get shaping these. So let's get with it. Well, alright guys, so got our handle all shaped up. We got our first coat of poly on there. Gonna look pretty good, I think. Coming out pretty nice. So there you have it, knife for my neighbor. The pretty much the finished product, you know. It's going to take a few more coats of polyurethane and a light sanding in between each coat, but I think we're there. Alright, thanks for watching guys. I appreciate you being here. Another knife in the books, and we'll get started on mine probably this next weekend. So take care of yourselves, get out to your shop and do something, have some fun, make a mess. I just cleaned my shop the other day. It's a complete mess again. I mean, I can mess up a shop pretty fast when I get down there. And it was all clean while I was annealing this knife. I cleaned the shop. And you can walk down there right now and the bench is covered in sawdust and grinder dust and metal shavings, and they're just, you know, it's a mess down there. So get out and clean your shop, or make something, or fix something, or whatever, you know. It's good therapy. So thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button if you would. And we'll see you on the next one.